Welcome to the week 6 of the implementation program. You're halfway through. This week things are going to start getting tough though. I gave you an easy week last week. Well, it wasn't easy for some of you. Easy though in regards to the nutritional aspects. This week it's going to get much harder with the nutritional aspects. Let's refresh the last couple of weeks what I want you to continue to be focusing on. Fresh food, still going for the fresh food, trying to avoid processed foods. Trying to avoid the canned and packaged foods. Still trying to get to the farmer's market to get your fresh food, great place, good value, and keep trying to stay away from microwaves. I still want you to be avoiding the bad fat, so avoiding deep fried food and the hydrogenated fat that's in a lot of the processed foods. If you do happen to have, say, fish and chips, just be aware of how you feel afterwards and be aware of your bowel movements and those sort of things. How's your energy level? And you'll probably find that once you start aware of these things and aware of how the food is affecting you, you'll no longer want it. So that's going to be good. Keep remembering, if you don't have your health, what do you have? And let that drive the decisions that you're making, especially the decisions regarding money. I want you to continue to take action to resolve the 5 biggest stresses in your life. Have a go with the EFT, talk to friends, family. The more you can take the trash out, the less it's going to be affecting your nervous system now. Really important, keep taking action on those 5 things. If you do need the supplements, keep taking your supplements for large intestine. The probiotics is going to be the major one for that. Okay, slippery elm will also help, which is a herb, but the probiotics is the #1 thing to get your large intestine working well, together with all these lifestyle and nutrition changes that we're making. Keep being aware of your cupboard clean and try to avoid those foods. Now, for this week, there's a couple of things I'm going to get you to start doing. We're going to get you to have a go at some muscle testing. Now, what I'm going to get you to do here is run you through how to do the muscle testing. We did this on the intensive weekend, and the first step to this is actually trying to activate your nervous system for it to become more sensitive to be able to test these different foods, and that's called switching your nervous system on, or switching on. And basically you've got to rub your upper and lower lip for a minute, and you can change hands after 30 seconds, and then rub your collarbones for a minute. You can do it this way here, again for a minute, and then your tailbone for a minute. And that activates your nervous system and gets your nervous system a little bit more receptive to these different foods. From there, you're going to go ahead and get your arm out in front of you, and you're going to get your helper or family member, then 2 inches from your wrist bone is just 2 pounds of pressure for 2 seconds, and we're looking for a strong muscle test. And looking for basically an indicator muscle, trying to get a strong muscle test. Once we have a strong muscle test, just like we did on the course, you're going to pull the hair, check hydration levels, little tug on the hair, and check the muscle again. Somebody else doing it obviously on you, just to check that you have a strong indicator muscle. That basically gets your system up and running, very basically gets your system where we want it to do some basic testing. Now I'm going to get you to do 8 foods, 2 of which are going to be bread and milk, and 3 other fruits. And what I'd like for you to do is actually not swallow the food, is just chew it, put it in your mouth and test, and just see how your autonomic nervous system is responding to that food. Okay? I'm getting you to do bread and milk because a lot of people are intolerant to those 2 foods. And then you can go ahead and pick another 3 foods that you think you might be intolerant to. It might be tomatoes, okay? Eggs is another big one, nuts. Start testing some of these different foods, and I want you to test 8 and let me know how the results go on those 8 foods. So hold the food in your mouth while you're testing, and then push down. And remember, if the muscle goes weak, that's a weak muscle test. That means that your body generally doesn't like it. Very basic. There's another way you can look at food intolerances, and that's being aware of bloating. Okay, so you can be aware of whenever you eat something that you then feel bloated afterwards, that's a big, big sign that you're intolerant to that food. And so what you've got to do from there is then start trying to avoid it. That can be difficult to find out, well, what was it in that salad that made me bloated? So you've got to then cut different foods out, have the same thing, see how you feel. It can also be determined on factors such as stress. If you're more stressed, you're not going to get the enzyme release from your pancreas, so you're not going to be able to digest the food as well. So there's going to be some other complicating factors in there. However, being aware of bloating and what gives you gas is a good indicator of what's going on in your small intestine. This week, what I'm going to need to do is try and have no gluten. And really, we're not going to be mega strict on this, but we're going to cut out no bread, pasta, muffins, flour, basically of any kind. Now, if you can't live without bread, you can get rice bread, and that's gluten-free. It doesn't taste much like bread, though, I warn you. And you can still have your sort of toast and things like that with the gluten-free breads. But what we're looking for is for you to try and cut out bread. The reason being, a lot of people, about 70% of people who are tested to the biggest laboratory in the States, of people who tested, came up with some level of intolerance to gluten. Okay, it's a protein in bread that's very difficult to digest. And so what I want you to do is cut it out, and then in a couple of weeks' time we're going to add it back in, and we're going to get to monitor how you feel when you then add it back in. Because it's a bit like smoking. The first time you have a cigarette, your body is, rejects it and you cough your lungs up, but then, a couple of packs later you can smoke cigarettes and not have any problem at all. Same with these sort of things. The first time you have it, your body will reject it and have an adverse reaction, and then over time your body will actually handle it okay. But just because it can handle it doesn't mean it's good for you. Okay, so I want you to go ahead and cut out bread. It's going to be great for you either way. Okay, even if you're not gluten intolerant, it's going to be a great thing for you to do, because generally your energy levels are going to go up because of that. I want you to start making time for the bathroom. Okay, optimal is 2 visits a day, so I'm looking for 2 bowel movements a day optimally. The reason being is that for you to have a transit time of 12 to 17 hours, you've really got to be having 2 bowel movements a day, because if you're only having 1, and then it's in the morning, after breakfast, and then you eat something, well then it's basically in you for 23 hours before it then comes back out again. That's too long. We're looking for 12 to 17 hours optimal transit time. And so 2 bathroom visits a day. So you've got to start making time for this. And other factors that you've got to be aware of is when you do get the urge, don't resist the urge. Is go and use the bathroom. Okay, go and have a bowel movement, because if you start resisting the urge, it only takes 21 days to train your nervous system, and you're basically training yourself to hold it in. And that's not what you want to do. You want to get these toxins out and basically get that large intestine working optimally. Supplements for your small intestine. There's an amino acid called glutamine, which I'm going to be recommending. You can do 5 grams a day, which is about a small teaspoon in water last thing at night. Drink it. It's amino acid that's very healing to the small intestine. You can also experiment with aloe vera, and that's also very, very healing to your intestine. It basically helps your collagen repair itself, so in regards to the structure of your skin and your intestinal membranes, and so it's very, very good for healing your small intestine. And then another way that I really love is through broths, so basically beef bone broths and chicken broths. They're very, very high in glutamine. And so they're very, very good at healing your intestine, and you're getting all of those other great nutrients and minerals that are generally found in bones, which is superb for everyone. So I highly recommend the broths as well. Just a reminder, I still want you to be breathing into your stomach, okay? Still want you to chew into a liquid, and we still want to be relaxed while you're eating, sitting down, and keep up with your water consumption, okay? Also this week, I want you to take more action towards your ideal life. So you've got to keep action towards this ideal life every week. That's going to be what's driving you. It's going to be what motivates you to keep these things going. Well done, good luck with that, you're doing great. We'll see you next week.